Subramanian, the Director of Finance at BPCL, now joins us. Mr. Subramanian, good morning. So,
Good morning.
is this the directive from the government in terms of a higher dividend payout? 19.5 looks quite generous.
Last year also we gave almost around 16 rupees last year. And of course this year there have been two things. One is that we have completed 40 years of BPCL. So it's we are given a special dividend of around 40% as a one-time dividend. And also the last 3-4 years we have been having a heavy capex, and then we are coming at the end of a major capex cycle. So we thought that we can reward the government, and the units are getting stabilized. So we thought that we can give a better dividend in the current year.
Okay. Mr. Balasubramaniam, tell us a little bit about the quarter. I mean, your reported GRMs were a little less than $6. Did that have any inventory gains, and what could the average GRMs be over the next couple of quarters?
See, this quarter's GRM has been slightly lower compared to the last year. Only, as you know, that last year the GRMs have been, the crack spreads have been far higher than what has been the current year. There was almost $2 to $2.5 of dip in crack spreads in the various products. So that has got one base effect. Secondly, both the Mumbai Kochi refinery is under stabilization. As you are aware that we are increasing the capacity from 9.5 to 15.5, and the various units are getting commissioned on a serial manner, so on a sequential manner. So that's for that stabilization and all, we may have to take a slightly higher level of low sulfur and light crude. So that is having some sort of differentials on the GRMs as regards Kochi is concerned. Mumbai again, we are doing that 100% Euro 4 norm, which we have to roll it out from April 2020. So the process is on, and various units are synchronized for the Euro 4 norms for the 100%. So that also had got an impact on the GRMs at Mumbai. So these two things had got an impact. That's why the overall the GRMs are 5.9 as against 7.67 during the corresponding period last year.
Okay, the talk which is gaining currency now is the big PSU oil company merger or creating 2 or 3 large companies, Mr. Balasubramanian. I wanted your thoughts on that, if there have been any consultations.
This is the in-principle decision which government has announced. The consultations have not taken place yet. We hope that in the next month or so the consultations will start, and we'll have a clear picture on the government's mind in this regard.
But prima facie, would it be fair to assume that BPCL would be merged into, say, a larger upstream company?
I cannot comment on that because this is too early to make any comments, because even the first round of discussions have not taken place. But you know that India is a growing market, and then there is a need for having bigger companies. So how the things will happen and how it's pan out over a period of time, we have to wait and watch.
Okay. Any indication of what the cost savings or operational efficiencies could be with such a big merger if it does take place?
No, it depends upon how the combination of the mergers come. I cannot comment at this time. We cannot do a guess.
Okay. Can you tell us a little bit about what's happening in Kochi in terms of the expansion plans and what the way forward could be?
Yeah, Kochi, we have commissioned CDU, the new CDU already, a 10 million ton CDU, as well as we have commissioned our diesel hydrotreater plant. The other plants of isomerization and coker, sulfur recovery unit and FCCU are all in the process. We are likely to commission all the units by end of March. And then the first year of operation, that is 17-18, we'll be doing almost around 70 to 80% of the capacity, and stabilization need to happen. And afterwards, it will be doing in full capacity in 18-19, 100%. That is 15.5 million tons full we will reach in 18-19. And this is likely to increase our GRMs at the Kochi, because we are doing a total bottom upgradation plant with a coker, which means that we will not be producing the low-end products like bitumen, furnace oil, etc., which will have an impact on our GRMs. Our GRMs are likely to go by almost around $2 in the Kochi for the entire 15.5 million ton refinery.
Okay. Mr. Balasubramanian, what's the current marketing margin on petrol and diesel? And I ask you this question because the criticism is that diesel price, of course, is back to peak and petrol almost is, while crude oil is still half of what it was. Of course, a lot of this has to do with the excise duty that the government has raised. But even otherwise, things don't match up. So just wanted to know what's the current margin on petrol and diesel.
The margins on petrol is around 2,000 rupees and the margins on diesel is around 1,500 rupees.
Okay, and that's not gone up a lot over the last 3 months or so?
No.
Okay, fair enough, Mr. Balasubramanian. Thanks a lot for your time today. That's the word from BPCL. The consultations have